Hey guys, Dora here and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. I decided to go with the mid-year freakout tag. I don't think I've ever done this tag before. I looked through my videos and I don't think I've done it. So this would be my first time. But this is one of the most sought out tags, especially when the year's almost over, so I decided to just roll with it. So without further ado, let's just get started. Best book you've read so far in 2019. The one that comes to mind is Fuck Love by Tarryn Fisher. This was such a fun book to read. It kept me up past midnight, and I haven't read a book that has done that in a while. Our main character is Helena, and she falls in love with her best friend's boyfriend. So throughout the entire story, we follow Helena and how she is trying not to be in love with her best friend's boyfriend, but it's so hard to be kind of like on the moral high ground when you know that Helena and Kit, who's the love interest, are so good for each other. It's like I was rooting for them to get together, but at the same time I was like, wait, he's still with her, so you need to stop that right now. But it was so good. I hardly ever read romance, and I think maybe because I hadn't read a lot of romance before, that's why I really loved this book. Tarryn has definitely become one of my favorite authors this year. I also read her other book, Marrow, and I learned recently that this year she released another book kind of in this style called Fuck Marriage, but we do follow different characters and I'm so excited to read it. I have already bought it. Best sequel you've read in 2019. That is gonna be hard because I haven't read many sequels. So the only one that popped up that is a sequel yet it's not a sequel is The Mermaid's Voice Returns in this one by Amanda Lovelace. This is the third book in the Women Are Some Kind of Magic poetry collection, and I absolutely adored it with all my heart. It is gorgeous inside and out, and I will say this again and again, Amanda is the greatest poet I have read. I love her style, and I've yet to find other poets with similar styles to her, because I did read Milk and Honey before I read The Princess Saves Herself in this one, but I did not enjoy it. Like I said, I'm still searching for more books kind of like these. I've made it a personal rule not to rate poetry. This is the best sequel yet not a sequel that I've read this year. The poetry is full of women empowerment. It's all about healing. It does have poems about rape, sexual abuse. New release you haven't read yet but want to. So a new release that I haven't read yet but really want to is Don't Date Rosa Santos by Nina Moreno. I am in love with the cover. It looks like a fantastic summer read, and I'm not sure if it'll be part of my TBR, but who knows? I'm a mood reader, anything can happen. So because I suck at explaining things and this book deserves a great synopsis, I'll read you the one that is inside. Rosa Santos is cursed by the sea. At least that's what they say. Dating her is bad news, especially if you're a boy with a boat. But Rosa feels more caught than cursed. Caught between cultures and choices. Between her abuela, a beloved healer and a pillar of their community, and her mother, an artist who crashes in and out of her life like a hurricane. Between Port Corral, is it Coral or Corral? Let me know down below. The quirky South Florida town they call home, and Cuba, the island her abuela refuses to talk about. As her college decision looms, Rosa collides literally with Alex Aquino, the mysterious boy with tattoos of the ocean whose family owns the marina. With her heart, her family, and her future on the line, can Rosa break the curse and find her place beyond the horizon? The main character isn't Mexican, but it's still a Latinx character, which I'm happy to read about, and it's a Latinx author. The only other Latinx author that I read literally let me down, but there are videos of me talking about it. I'm really excited to read this. It looks so good and the cover is so beautiful. I've been wanting to read more Latinx authors' books. I just don't know where to start because I don't know many of them. Hopefully Nina doesn't let me down. I'm so excited. It sounds like a fun romantic read. Most anticipated release for the second half of the year is There Will Be Darkness by Katie Rose Poole. The book sounds great and I can't wait for the final cover. I'm not sure if this is the final cover or it's just the ARC cover. I will be doing a book talk when I read this book, so stay tuned. So we have prophets who have ended wars and united nations, but then they start to disappear. But before they disappeared, they left us one secret prophecy, and that is that darkness will fall and a new prophet will be born. And that prophet can either save or destroy the world. So we follow 5 characters who one of them may be this prophet that the prophecy is talking about. So this is what I'm most excited for this year. Biggest disappointment. My biggest disappointment that I've read this year is a book that I recently read. You can see all my thoughts in one of my Sunday vlogs right up there. It's Girl in the Blue Coat by Monica Hesse. I was very excited to read this book because it's a subject I love to read about, and that is World War II. The way they were selling me this book is like, hey, here's a mystery on top of everything that's going down. So I was like, okay, let's see what kind of struggles the main character is going to go through while trying to search for this girl that's gone missing. But no, from the beginning, when we find the main character learning about this missing girl and finally taking on the quest of finding her, she doesn't really look. I mean, I understand there's a lot of things going on during that time, but she doesn't make an effort to investigate. She didn't go like undercover. She didn't go to the archives and learned everything there was to know about this girl. I guess what I'm trying to say is that the main character didn't do the research herself. Like, there wasn't many action points that really made me care about this mystery. That was a big disappointment for me to read that book. Now, question 6 is biggest surprise. I'm assuming this means the book I read that I wasn't expecting to love, and for that I'm gonna go with 5 Feet Apart by Rachel Lippincott. The story behind this is that I watched the movie trailer first before I picked up this book. So the movie trailer dropped before the book even came out. That was a big surprise when I realized that 5 Feet Apart was gonna be a book, because I watched the trailer first. I absolutely adored the trailer, and the first thing that came to my mind is this is gonna be a great movie. And I believe the week before the movie was released, I decided to read the book, and I was pleasantly surprised at how much I enjoyed it. I will say that the beginning was a little off because the writing was kind of like poetic and descriptive, and then throughout the rest of the story, the writing is like any normal YA book you read. That's the only downside of this story, but all the same, I really enjoyed it. I was really pleasantly surprised at how much I really did love it. The ending felt real. It felt like a very realistic story, especially when we're dealing with two characters with CF, which is short for cystic fibrosis. Now, the rule here is that two people with cystic fibrosis cannot be within 5 feet of each other or they'll catch each other's bacteria. So that's why people with cystic fibrosis never go in a relationship with other people who have cystic fibrosis. So our main character, Stella, is the regimen queen. Stella takes her medication at the correct times every day, and when she finds out that Will is not, her inner control freak starts screaming. So they buddy up to take their medication together, and while they're doing this buddy treatment together, Stella starts to feel things for Will. I guess the third thing in the love triangle is that Will and Stella cannot be together, no matter how much they love each other. So you kind of realize that they're not gonna be together by the end of this book. I was disappointed by the movie, but I was very surprised at how much I loved the book. Favorite new author, debut or new to you? And for this, I'm gonna go with Tarryn Fisher. She is not a debut author, she's new to me. And I absolutely adored this book, and I loved her other book, Marrow, as well. So I feel like she's my author. I think her and I were like this now. Very excited to read more from her, and I absolutely love her writing. It's very comical, yet very serious at the same time. Not a lot of authors can do that in one go. So it's just, oh, I love it. Newest fictional crush. I guess my newest fictional crush would be Victor from Vicious. He is fantastic. He's gorgeous. The way this book is written is past and present. So we follow Victor and Eli, who have realized that you can get supernatural powers by near-death experiences. Then when something unexpected happens while Victor is trying to get his abilities, he tries to get Eli to help him. Eli actually throws him in jail. I think it's 15 years later, Victor returns to get revenge on Eli for breaking their friendship and throwing his ass in jail. Victor's all kinds of funny. He's morally ambiguous, knows what's right and what's wrong, but just decides to tread in the middle and tries to do whatever is right for him, not the entire world, which makes him a little selfish, but he's still my babe. Newest favorite character. My new favorite character is August from This Savage Song by Victoria Schwab, another Victoria Schwab book. No surprise there. August is this lovable monster who just wants to be human, wants to feel human emotions, but because he's one of the most feared monsters in this novel, he is scared of losing himself, and towards the end killed me because he said it himself, every time you go dark, you lose who you were. I felt it. You're not the same, August. A book that made you cry. If you want to see a book that made me cry, I'll leave the vlog up here for you guys to see, but it's no surprise that it was Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J Maas. I can't. It's coming back. This book made me cry so hard. When I was first doing my reading vlog for Kingdom of Ash and I was going through the footage as I was editing it, I was for sure doing the Kim Kardashian cry. So every time I watch my Kingdom of Ash vlog, I can't help but laugh because all I can think about is like, oh my god, I'm doing the Kim Kardashian cry. So this book definitely made me ugly cry. As for the final book in the series, I want to say maybe it didn't have to be so big, but there were times where it did keep me at the edge of my seat. I was worried as to who was gonna die, who was gonna survive, and sometimes chapters would end in a cliffhanger and I hated it because then we'd go to a different perspective and all I want to know is what happened to the person we left in a cliffhanger. It's all kinds of good. A book that made you happy. A book that made me happy was Once and For All by Sarah Dessen. This book made me all kinds of happy. It made me nostalgic, not because I've read this book before, but because of the author, Sarah Dessen. She's one of my ultimate favorite summer authors, and just reading her this summer, oh my god, it's so good. So this made me laugh, made me happy, made me sad. I didn't cry, but all the same, it was a really good book and it really made me happy at the end. And it's just a fun, light summer read. I really enjoyed it. Most beautiful book you bought or received this year. And for this one, I'm gonna go with Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. And I just want to thank Becca for sending me this. You're the best. This is one of my prized possessions. This is the UK edition. It's kind of this rainbowish color. The end pictures have these ticket stubs and it has black edges and it has purple ribbon bookmark as well as it's signed by the author. So yeah, like I said, Becca, you're the best. I love you. And last but not least is, what books do you need to read before the year is over? And the answer is all of them. But I decided to narrow it down to my top 2 books, and that is Seath by Neal Shusterman as well as Girls of Paper and Fire by Natasha Nang. These are 2 of the books that I've been wanting to read forever since I've got them. Seath has been hyped up to like the 4th degree. Girls of Paper and Fire has been on my TBR since it came out, and the second one is coming out soon, so I really need to get down to it. That is the mid-year freakout book tag. I will not be tagging anybody because everybody who I know has done it already. That is all I have for you guys today. Let me know down in the comments below. What books do you want to read before the year is over? Thank you guys for watching. Please make sure to give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe if you want to see more of my face, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!